What's up, guys? Alex here, ajnashville.com, here with Mr. Luis
What's up,
Aguirre.
guys? How y'all
What's
doing?
up, Luis? How you doing today?
Good, man. It's
like-
Friday.
Yeah.
I got a job.
Ain't got nothing to
I
do.
got plenty of stuff to do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I was
Plenty
thinking
of
about
things.
that this morning. I was like, wait, it's Friday? I got a job?
Yeah. And you got a bunch of stuff to do.
But I was thinking about that movie, Friday.
Yeah, with Ice Cube.
Oh, yeah.
And what is it, Chris Tucker? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good movie. But they had Friday, you ain't got no job, you ain't got to do.
Right.
I'm going to get you what? Paid today. I'm going to get you. I
paid
know what it
today.
said. I know what it said.
I'm gonna get
Speaking of, today is payday. Did you get your paycheck?
Oh, I did.
On time every time, huh?
I got my first bonus check today.
That's good. Those bonus checks definitely help. So it gives you something to be grateful for, which is actually the topic of today's podcast. By the way, I'm digging that flag.
Convenient.
I know. Well, we could have twisted it to anything else. We could have been like, hey, today we're grateful for this or whatever. But I'm digging that flag label that you have on your collar. That's
Thank you, sir.
pretty legit. I like that. Matter of fact, you serve to help protect that flag and preserve the freedoms that it stands for. So that's one thing that I'm grateful for on a day-to-day basis. Speaking of that, tomorrow, Irreverent Warriors Silky's Hike downtown Nashville starts at
8 a.m.
8 a.m. 0800 for those of you that are military time, and it ends at 1 o'clock. 1300.
No, it ends whenever
it ends when it
we
stops.
drag the last person off the floor.
Right. So if you're interested, if you're a veteran and you're interested in getting involved in that Silky's Hike, please go to the Irreverent Warriors website. It is going on tomorrow. There is still Eventbrite availability. Get out there and join your brothers and sisters in arms and go out and just have a good time. I've talked to quite a few people that have attended other ones in other cities, and they say it's one of the best things that they've ever gotten involved in. So go out there, get after it, enjoy it. So we're talking about things we're grateful for. Counting your blessings. That's something on a day-to-day basis. We're too apt and too prone to get up in the morning and say, fuck, I got to go to work today. I got this to do. I got that to do. Man, my car broke down. I can't get in the door. My fish tank's leaking water, whatever the case may be. We're too prone to look at the negativity that we have in our life, and not in enough occasions do we look at the positive things. And I'm guilty for it just as much as the next person. I look at some of the tasks that we have to knock out, and I think, golly, it's a daunting task. Like those
Sometimes.
The sound boxes that we're talking about. We're trying to improve the sound quality in the studio here, and so we're looking at having these sound deadening boxes built, but it's finding the time to do it. And it's something I dread doing because of the amount of time it's going to take, but I'm fortunate that we have the opportunity to do something like this, to put together and improve the sound, because I could be in a position where that's just not an option.
Right.
I did a post, and speaking of awesome things, this table, Built by Design, they crushed it when they built this table.
Oh, yeah.
When they went out there and they did that, I got to thinking, and growing up, we didn't even have a table to sit at, If it was a table to sit at, it wasn't ours. It was just someone else's table, just because we were in a position where that wasn't an option. And like I said in the post where I posted the picture of this table, I'm fortunate that we have a table as nice as this one that's custom built, that we can sit around with friends and get this positive message across to the listeners and have a good time and give us something. This is almost like therapy for a lot of us. We get to sit here and talk about the things that are on our mind. A lot of our guests that come in, they get to talk about things that help benefit them, help them grow. And there's listeners on the other end. I've gotten private messages from a lot of you where the thing is, hey, your podcast helped me because of X, Y, and Z, or hey, I listened to the podcast and this resonated with me because of this. And fortunately, I am grateful and I am lucky to be in a position where I can do something like that. I am grateful and I am lucky that I was given the gift or the ability to project my message to people and have them listen to my experiences and have them benefit from things I may have went through, be it negative or positive or whatever it may be. At least people can listen to that message. So what about you, Luis? Or is it Luis today?
It's Luis. We
Okay,
started
Luis.
out with
All right.
Luis.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
You should be grateful that your name can be said in two different ways.
Yeah.
Because if you go to a Mexican restaurant, what do you tell them your name is?
Luis.
Exactly. Why? Because they're gonna be like, Luis, push you down on the list. You go to a hamburger joint, you're like, yeah, it's Luis.
It's Luis. Yeah. Spelled with a U.
Right.
L-U-I-S.
I-S. Yeah.
Some people, I tell them my name's Luis, and they still spell it with L-O-U-I-S.
So you're grateful that you can spell.
It's like if you're going to spell it Luis the American way, you
right?
could spell it Lewis, right?
I guess like if you were Lewis,
Yeah.
it was a Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
So
But no, I mean, hell, I'm grateful to be sitting around this table right now. I didn't even think about it, but our last table is not this big, and today I'm able to bring my laptop in here, coffee, phones,
Yeah.
pads, sit comfortably.
we got a ton of room. And that's the biggest thing. We got so much room at this table. Built by Design, you guys crushed it. I can't say enough for you. If you guys are looking for a quality table built by some quality people, reach out to them. Tell Brandon that I sent you 615-866-7291. But I mean, you've experienced some of these podcasts, Luis, where we've gotten people around and they've gotten up from the table and they're like, wow, that was fun. That was a
Yeah.
good time.
Well, it helps you grow.
It does.
Gets you, get you out of your comfort zone.
Right.
We've had podcasts about getting out of your comfort zone. This will definitely put you out of your comfort zone talking. We're not necessarily talking to a live audience because we're recording this, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Well, and you can be critiqued on what it is that you say, even though it's recorded. You always run the risk of saying something that somebody maybe didn't appreciate, and they reach out to you and just let you know that, And that's where we talk about the things that we're grateful and fortunate for. There's been so many occasions where you can get bent out of shape, or I can get bent out of shape over something that's a small issue just because of things going on in your mind space right now. That space between those two big ears of yours is the most
That
valuable.
are red all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the most valuable space right there, because that influences a lot. It influences the positive mindset, whether you get pissed off because somebody cuts you off, or whether, you're grateful for something. I wake up and every day and I'm grateful for my health, my kids, my family, having a place to come to sit down to work. A buddy of mine, Drew, he posted a thing today and said, "What's your why?" And his why was a picture of his daughter on her first day of school. That's his why. That's what he's grateful for. So that's what he's going to work to strive to protect and make sure he can provide for. And that's something that I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do that, because even though we take a step back and we may hit frustration points sometimes, there is somebody out in this world, no matter how low you feel like you are in your life, there's somebody in this world that has a worse time or worse situation than you.
Right.
100% of the time. Like, there's not a person in this world that is absolute just in the shittiest situation ever, and nobody is in a worse situation than that person. There's somebody right now in a third world country that is just, they just have it out. It's just horrible. Their life may be horrible, and their situation's better than somebody else's. So it's all about looking at the things that we're grateful for, and actually providing yourself with a list. Hey, what are some of the things that I'm grateful for? What are some of my blessings? I got to get up and I got to go to work in the morning, but I get to go to work in a place that I enjoy, to work with people that I enjoy working with, helping people, which is something that I enjoy as well. It's not like I'm getting up and going to a dreadful place. And even if I was, I would be grateful for being able to provide for my family.
Right.
I was thinking about this the other day on my way into work, the office. I don't even call it work. It's not really work here. You feel like you work here?
No.
No, it's something.
No, I sure don't.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something that you come in and you get the job done, and I feel accomplished when everything's said and done. When we get a person into a home, I feel like, hey, we've done something, and when we've made the impossible happen, then you've really done something. But on the way in, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Let's say the bottom fell through, because our industry is under attack anyways, but let's say the bottom fell through and we had to find something else to do. I don't care what it would be, as long as I could do what it was that I needed to do to provide,
Right.
Because we go back to the things that we're grateful for. So having that ability, eye surgery, you and I have discussed this before, and those of you that are listening know that I've been through almost a half dozen different eye surgeries for detached retinas. And one of the things I asked the doctor was, am I going to go blind? And that was probably the realest thing that ran through my mind at that point in time, is sitting there in the room and thinking to myself, I'm going to go blind one day. I'm not going to be able to see. I'm going to be the light-skinned Ray Charles without the talent, And I asked the doctor flat out, I said, am I going to go blind one day? And he asked me why, and I said, because I want to decide if I need to see everything I need to see within the next couple of years, or if I have a lifetime to do it. his words were, we should be able to repair and fix this and put you back to normal. You should be able to see, blah, blah, blah. I still have troubles, and this with my right eye. Still have troubles with depth perception and stuff like that. But I am fortunate that I have gotten to see the things that I've seen in my lifetime. If I lost my vision, if he would have said, yeah, you're going to go blind, you're never going to see another thing after today, at least I've had the opportunity to see the things that I've seen in my life and experience the things that I experienced. Because when you look back and you look at people that may have been blind since the day they were born or at a young age, they don't get to experience those things. And something as simple that we take for granted, eyesight. Who wakes up in the morning and says, I'm thankful that I can see today. I can tell you who. Somebody that's in a position where they could lose their vision. There's been times where they pull that patch off, and I'm like, am I going to be able to see? And I can see.
There's somebody who's had a eye replacement. I mean, nowadays you can have from a deceased person,
right?
Their eyes put into your body.
Well, and that's with technology, we're able to do things like that. And that's a situation I've considered before, where I've thought about, what if I had to have someone else's eye, and that's just it's a leery thought.
What's that movie called with Will Smith? 7 Pounds.
Yes,
huh?
About the heart. Mm-hmm. That's an incredible movie. I tell you what, if you have not seen that movie, that is something where a person has truly taken what they are grateful for and have tried to provide a gift to somebody else. It's amazing, and it's a great movie. It's anything with Will Smith is really good though, except his music. I'm not a Will Smith hater.
I haven't even looked at any of his
Getting
music.
jiggy with it? Are you kidding me?
Oh, well,
you're a '90s baby.
Yeah, well,
you know what it's about.
I'm not an '80s baby.
You're
only
born
1
in the
year
80s.
older than me.
You're an '80s baby, but you were a '90s kid.
Yeah, I grew up listening to '80s music.
Speaking of '90s kids, this weekend is the 20th year reunion for my graduating class in Fort Dodge Senior High in Fort Dodge, Iowa.
In Iowa?
20 years, dude. I'm almost willing to bet that I could go back there, and the people have changed, but the scenery has not. I can almost see it in my head still, which is good. It's a small town,
You think the high school still looks the same?
I would say it's probably pretty close.
No, you'd probably be able to get on Google Earth and check it out.
I'm sure I could. Or the fact that my stepdad lives right down the road from it. I've driven past it in the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Snap a picture.
Yeah, but no, I was going to try to make it out there, but I've just got so much going on, and I've got my kids this weekend, which I always have my kids. I make it sound like I'm some divorced single dad that gets his kids every weekend. Tomorrow is daddy daycare, which is very, this is very stressful for me because my kids kind of do what they want. They're 2 and 4.
You know what? You need to be grateful.
I am grateful
that you are able to do it.
You know what I'm really grateful
that you
for?
have these children.
When they sleep in. Then I'm really grateful. Like when it's a cloudy, overcast day and they're laying in bed and the sun's not beaming through the windows and they're still sleeping. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I'm grateful for this. Most people are like, I hope it's sunny today. I'm like, I hope it's dark. My kids will stay in bed all day if it's dark. So, but like I said, being grateful for things, pointing those things out. Sometimes we get to the point where we have to write those things down to have that clear understanding. And I've had this conversation with quite a few different people over the years. And it's like, what are you grateful for? What are you really, truly grateful for? And take it all the way down to the micro portion of it. Not just, I'm grateful for a job. Well, why are you grateful for a job? Are you grateful for your health, your parents, your family, your kids, whatever the case may be? And sometimes putting that down on paper is a stark reminder of what it is that we are grateful for, but why we continue to drive forward in the way that we do. Especially if you're down and out, maybe you had a bad day at work or something like that. Something funny happened this morning. This never happens. I was going through Starbucks, and I pull up, and of course I know the people at Starbucks because everybody knows I get 5 shots of espresso every morning. What's that look for? You get 5 shots of espresso every morning, and the lady, as I pull up, I'm like, hey, what's up, Amy? And she says, hey, the guy in front of you paid for your coffee. She's like, I'm not going to let you pay for the coffee for the guy behind you. And I said, let me pay for the coffee for the guy behind me. He was driving a nice Alfa Romero, a newer body style one. So I got the coffee for the guy behind me. And as I was driving away, the thought came in my head. And that was, someone had posted something before where they said, the people at Starbucks aren't the people that need your act of kindness. But the fact is, that little bit of act of kindness still made my morning, Yeah. I could have been having a crummy morning and going to get my morning routine, my morning coffee, simply because that's what I do each and every day. And that little act of kindness could have made my day. And it did. You know, it's good to know that people are still thoughtful enough of the people that are behind them or the people that are in different situations because they decided to go out of their way and say, hey, let me get the guy behind me.
Right.
You know, it's little things like that. It's little things like holding the door open for people.
Oh, definitely.
Holding the door open for people
I'm
is
big about that.
Yeah. As long as you're aware that they're there. You know, there's some times where you don't see a person behind you and you can't hold the door open for them. But even though I'm in a financial situation where a cup of coffee is not going to break me, it is still nice to know that there's someone out there that said, you know what, I'm going to do something kind for the person behind me. Mm-hmm. And like I said, before I'd read something where people are like, the people at Starbucks aren't the ones that need it. Well, just because we go to Starbucks doesn't mean we don't need a little boost in our day. You know, say hello to somebody today.
Hell, you got a free coffee today. And when you got to the office, you had a free muffin sitting on your desk.
That's what I'm talking about. Today's a super. Now, if I go down to get the oil change on my car and get a free oil change, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket.
I'm bringing my car too. Hold on a second.
That never happens. But I've got good people that take care of my car, so I'm grateful for that. The other thing I have that's great, and this is the thing you listeners may have, you know, your friends, the people you surround yourself with. Hopefully they're people that improve and help bring you up and not bring you down or keep you there where you're at currently. If they are, look around, try to find some new friends, you know, find people that bring you up, find people that put you in a better position. Coworkers, same thing. Don't get caught in that water cooler talk. You know what happens to the water cooler, right? People get water.
Yeah.
No. The water cooler talk is where people just talk bad about what it is they're doing. If you and I are sitting here and we're talking bad about today and how shitty today is going to be and how bad work's going to be, what's going to happen? That's going to inject into your mindset.
Day.
Right. Your mindset's going to be there, and you're going to think, man, this is going to be a crummy day. You know? So work with champions. Be grateful for things. Speaking of champions, broker, title, and escrow. These guys are champions.
No, man, they're knocking it out.
They deliver every time, all the time, 100% of the time, all the time. If you are looking to purchase, refinance, sell, do whatever you have to do, and it involves a real estate transaction, please reach out to these guys, 615-986-2213. These are part of the groups of people that we're grateful for that help support this podcast so we can deliver this message to you on a weekly basis. We hope that you are grateful for this podcast. We hope that this podcast has somehow influenced you in a positive direction. We're at 141 episodes. 141. You know, when I started this podcast initially, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. You and I literally, as we're walking in, we're like, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about something positive because that's what we do.
It's Friday.
95% of our messages are positive messages with some 5% of fun stuff. But, we want to thank those of you that take the time to tune in. I see you guys. I see where you're at. I can see your location. I can see the device you're on.
We can see you.
I see you. But anyway,
so you better be grateful.
Right. And don't forget, if you're a veteran, check out the Irreverent Warriors Silky's hike tomorrow. I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this. August 10th? Yep, August 10th is the date of that. Just in case you're listening to this podcast in the future at some point, I don't want you to start looking it up and be like, oh, I'm going to go. It's this weekend. It's hot. Let's go. So thanks again for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.